Hey guys, welcome to today's session about work life balance. Welcome to my beautiful space, the garden in my house. I thought it would be nice to actually get out of the indoors and walk the talk and show you how I work, how I live. So, this is one of my work environments. Today, before we get into the actual nitty gritty of how to live your dream life and how to create the perfect harmony, the perfect synergy of energies and activities in your life, I want to start with challenging, questioning, rethinking, or perhaps even just, reconsidering how you understand work life balance and what it actually means. I want to just really look at this concept first and foremost. What does that even mean to us? Um, to me personally, when I think about balancing something, what comes to mind immediately is the scales, the weights, where you're kind of like trying to balance some forces that are in opposition. You're trying to like strike the perfect balance so that you can find that equilibrium. And when I think about the work life balance, when I think about the work and life, what comes through with these is that we're putting these two concepts in opposition on the opposite side of the scales, and we're trying to have the right amount of one and then the right amount of the other one so that we can reach that equilibrium. What that means at the same time is that once we're starting to even work with this concept, we're almost like um kind of putting these things in competition in a way, and we are literally saying that if there is like too much of one, there is too little of the other one and things are unbalanced. And what that creates inside of us is um I think it's inevitably this feeling that there is always too much of one or always too little of the other one. So it's really just like putting these two concepts of work and life into a competition. I really invite you guys, if you have any thoughts, anything that comes through as I speak about this, let me know if this resonates, if this is like, oh yeah, this is exactly how I feel about it. And what are maybe some of your biggest challenges that you're experiencing with this? Because this was my realization. I realized that, right, I've been trying to balance work and life my entire life, and I've been trying to do the right thing and be healthy about it, but I struggled because um when I had this like really strong intense period of working hard, i I felt really bad for neglecting my social life, my private life, my family and things like that. And I really felt like there was too much of work, and I didn't know, it really looked like I was focusing on one too much, and kind of that didn't leave enough time for the other. And it was really hard to navigate that and to find the right way out of that. And then at the same time, because this like notion, this programming of me being a workaholic was so deeply embedded in me, whenever there would be a lot of social time or a lot of family time for me, I would start thinking that, oh, I want to work, I don't want to spend too much time doing this because it's too much relaxation, too much socializing, the work is gonna run away from me, and it's not gonna get done and things like that. So um that was really unhealthy, and it really got me thinking. It got me thinking about how we conceptualize this, how we even how we even present this. It's a conundrum. It's this like, it's an unsolvable dilemma because everyone keeps talking about work life balance. And in my opinion, in my experience, in my research, in my work with people, this only creates problems. If you want to strike a balance between two opposing forces, you're always going to feel resentment towards one. You're always going to feel like there isn't enough of one or there is too much of one. So I want you to question this, and I want you to just ask yourself, hey, is this how I'm looking at this? And now I want to talk about, maybe some alternatives, maybe some other ways of looking at this. So, uh, first thing is, how can we how can we rethink this? How can we stop doing what we're doing and kind of like do it completely differently? And to me, that means instead of feeling these two concepts as being in opposition, how can we actually create some kind of synergy and integrity between them? That's a crazy idea, right? So hear me out. How about you start looking at the time that you spend with yourself or with your family or with your friends as time that is benefiting your work? And how about you do it the other way as well? How about you look at the time you spend at work and the progress, the growth, the evolution, the achievements, everything you're doing there as nurturing and essential and important for your personal life, for your family life. So, how can we find? I'm not talking about blending the boundaries between what is what. We know what's work. We know what's life, right? We can draw these boundaries very clearly. But how can we start seeing one in the other? So, for example, a lot of people that I work with, they what we're trying to shift away from is um, getting up in the morning. First thing they do is reach for the phone, look at the notifications, get overwhelmed with all the demands, pressures, everything stressful that's jumping at them from the world, and that completely overwhelms them, and it's done. Like they are in a stress mode the whole day. How can you actually just take extra 15 minutes in the morning without turning on your phone? You just get up and just sit there with yourself, with your own psyche, with your own energy, with your own body, just with your own breath, and allow yourself to do your inner work before the rest of the workday comes at you. And can you see this not as a nice to have, or this is just some kind of self-care, or this is some kind of a thing that you could do when you have time? How can you see that as your work, as a part of your job? And I'll tell you why. Because if you do this, you're going to be more productive. You're going to have such clarity of mind and focus that anything that comes at you later, you're just going to deal with it like that. It's going to be instant, it's going to be easy. You're going to be much calmer. The clarity that you'll feel will be reflected in your relationships, in the ways that you approach work. You won't feel overwhelmed. You will be able to prioritize things. So if that's not work, then tell me what is. So I am simply proposing that you're using everything that happens in your life, whether that is your self-care, whether that is your time when you're nurturing yourself, your massage, having a nice meal, doing some exercise, doing some breath work, spending time with your partner. I want you to start looking at that as a part of your work. And when you are at work, I want you to really plug into the idea that what you're doing at work, the new ways you're looking to create discipline, the way that you are learning to build relationships with people at work, the way you're looking to manage things, the way how you're learning to delegate, and everything that you're doing at work, how is that beneficial also for your private life? Because these things, we grow always in parallel. As we grow, it gets reflected in all areas of our lives. So that is the idea. That's the initial thing that I really want you to challenge and question for yourself. What is even work-life balance? I think that term is bullshit, to be honest. I think trying to have a work-life balance is the biggest trap. Like, it's as big of a trap as productivity is, because if you don't know how to go about productivity, you're going to run yourself directly into a burnout if you don't know how to do it with the right tools that are built for the long term impact and long term benefits. So it's the same thing with work life balance. We really have to think about how we're talking about these words and concepts and what they mean. And the other thing, too, is I said this so many times in my videos, like, the absolute core, the key to mastering anything your success, your freedom, your productivity, anything that you want to achieve in your life is through knowing yourself. Once you start connecting to yourself and you know yourself, you'll be able to um, navigate any challenge that comes your way. Also, in terms of, like, if there are, how you can prioritize things, how you can know what's important for you to do, when you need to rest. Many times people are afraid of simply putting things down and resting for a few minutes because they think, oh, I won't be, what if I get lazy and won't be able to do anything for hours or days? And so they just, pump up with some coffee. But it's about really just being honest with yourself and navigating yourself through that energy that is with you, because that is telling you what you're capable of, where your energy is best used in that given moment. And sometimes actually, like, having limited amounts of energy is a good thing, because I love lazy people. Speaking of laziness, or I don't think that there is such thing as lazy people, is it's like a lazy attitude where um it's, to me, it's a gift, because laziness invites us to create shortcuts and more efficiency, and I truly believe in it. I think it's amazing. We've got a question from someone here, so I'm just going to read it out loud. I work as an independent business owner, and for me it's very difficult to put a boundary between the two worlds. How do you set strong boundaries, or are you suggesting that it's better to merge the two? Right. um so I'm definitely not suggesting that there should be no boundaries. There definitely are. And you guys probably, especially if you have your own business, I'm guessing that, a lot of work that you do is, first of all, in the past year probably has been done from home, which adds extra challenges, because you are, doing a lot of your work actually in your home environment, where you're living your private life as well, your personal life. um, oh, there's another little addition, which I think could be risky, because in business you have all kinds of external pressures. Yeah, yeah, interesting. And so, yeah, so the second one is also, if you're a business owner in particular, um, when is enough? When do you stop working? You're so passionate about your business, like you literally, it's your baby, you want it to grow, and you can be online all the time. So if you actually have some of the, like, the personality traits, the personality patterns that are associated with burnout, for business owners, it's even more dangerous, I would say, because you don't have working hours. You can literally, you are your own boss. You have to create your own discipline. So I definitely suggest that there should be boundaries, and um, you should absolutely, I think that a really healthy way of approaching this is through going back to the original reason why you're doing what you're doing, and asking yourself, what are your values? So not thinking about it from, like, the fear perspective of, like, oh no, I won't be able to give enough time to my family and won't be able to grow my business. Turn it upside down and look at your values. Look at what's important to you in your life, what feels good, what's non-negotiable. And from that, then you have your values, and start building your list. How do you perform best? And this might require, if you haven't done any experimenting with your energy, this might, just give you an opportunity to actually experiment. It's summertime, perfect time. So go out and try different things. Try what works for you. For me personally, I know that it's important to have my morning practice every morning, which means usually that I do yoga, I might do some singing, I might do some dancing, I might do some meditation, and sometimes I journal in the morning. So it's really just the time to be present with myself. And I know that it's also non-negotiable for me to have a massage once or twice a week. It's also non-negotiable for me to go out in the ocean, because I like surfing once or twice a week at least, depending on how I feel that particular week. It's also non-negotiable for me to have a few date nights with my partner per week. So it's just having these little touch points that are, it's the framework basically, that that you can always see it as a reminder. You can always look at your list and check with yourself, hey, how have I been doing this week on these things? Am I actually giving myself these things that are important? Because sometimes you feel like it's, you get so absorbed in the work that you're doing that you neglect these things that you know are important for you. And what happens after is that you start running into energy lows. You start seeing differences in your mood. You will start seeing differences in your energy levels. So this is really just your responsibility and opportunity to create your own toolkit, to create, what works best for you. Literally, as a business owner also, you don't have anyone who's telling you you got to be in the office from here to here. You can literally design your day. So it's such a good opportunity. And I feel like, honestly, right now, so many people are quitting their jobs. So many people are waking up and realizing that, oh my goodness, I've tried this and actually I realized that I need more of this in my life. So whether that's family time, whether that's working from home, less travel, having more of their own activities, whatever that is. So really invite you to look at the things that nurture you, that support you, that are your kind of like a toolkit that you can be using for yourself to maximize your energy for yourself. And in terms of boundaries, we can talk about what these means, what the boundaries are. For example, in your space, if you're working from home, it might feel good that you have a specific space where you work from. So there is a dedicated office, for example. You may even have a rule. I have a rule with my partner that in our bedroom there are no cell phones to be used in the bed, in the bedroom. That's the space where we go and relax. So this is a boundary that's very specific, it's very visible, and it really makes sure that the relationship that we have and the rest that we value so much is preserved, that there won't be any notifications, there won't be any demands from anyone else. This is just our space to rest. So you can create these physical boundaries. You can also create your mental boundaries around what are the thoughts that you're not going to be thinking anymore, because these are dragging your attention away from the things that you want to be focused on. That's like yet another level on the mental level, because a lot of people are pretty good when it comes to their physical boundaries in the space, but they keep having repetitive thoughts every day and the same emotions where that's dragging their energy. And when we're talking about optimizing your energy and wanting to be on in your top performance, whether you are at work or just in your personal life, you want to be aware of what are all the things in your life that are beneficial and what are all the things in your life that need to go. So just going to go back to the original idea of check back with your values, what's important to you. And I also want to just encourage you to not limiting yourself. If you just went on holiday recently, or you literally tasted what it's like to work from home and you love it, and this is how you want your life to be, and then someone's telling you to come back to the office or do things in a certain way and you don't want it, then just stay true to what's important to you and what feels good to you. I can guarantee you that nothing is impossible. There is no such thing as just a dream or utopia. Everything is possible. Whatever you want to create is possible. So write your list of non-negotiables that are connected to your values and design your life according to how you want to feel. What are the thoughts that are benefiting you? What are the thoughts that are liberating for you, that are loving, that give you enthusiasm and drive and motivation and excitement? And choose those. And then you're going to find out at the end of this entire exercise, and when you go and check how your work and life is actually flowing, that you don't need to be playing with this idea of work-life balance at all, because you might be like, today most of my day is basically I'm doing work in flow. That's kind of how I call it. I'm chilling by the pool. I went to drive around on a motorbike. I went to get a coffee. I went to get breakfast, and I'm just kind of like cruising around. And in the meantime, I'm doing work. There is a message that I sent to someone. There are some ideas that I exchange with someone. I jump on a call. I jump on this YouTube live with you guys. It's literally just flowing. I'm flowing with the energy instead of being very strict about, oh, okay, there is a 8-hour window from here to here, and I got to plug myself into it. what am I going to feel inside? Like maybe I created this like specific boundary around how it's meant to be, but that's not where my energy's at today. So I get so much more out of me, myself, energetically when I am true to myself and stay within the integrity of what's important to me. And actually, one of my values happens to be freedom and feeling joy with everything that I do, and feeling playful and feeling graceful. And that's exactly how it is for me. So, as long as I am true to my values, everything flows with that. And if your employer isn't someone who understands this, I really just encourage you to go and look for a different one or create a job yourself. Because today there are so many opportunities. There has not been a better time in the world to create whatever you want. It's so easy to set up a business. It's so easy to launch a new product. Everything is literally at your fingertips. The only thing that's separating you from it, if you're already thinking about it, is yourself, is the limitation, is the fear that you have there, is the habit of doing things in a certain way. So um yeah, if you're at that point when you're feeling like, oh, I already got a taste of what I really love, and you can't really find it in your immediate environment where you are, reach beyond it and start connecting with that feeling more and more, and it's going to come to you. What's the path, how to actually get there. I really just want to encourage you guys. I'm never telling people to leave their jobs. That's not the point of the work that we're doing, even with burnout. Really, what I would love for every single company, for every single workplace, in every single environment where we are connecting around work, is for it to feel good, for it to feel authentic, so that people can actually thrive in that environment. And that it's not built around the product and the process, but it's built around the people. Because when you go through that approach, you will be really able to maximize everyone's potential and feed that into the product. All right, we've got one more question here before we go. Um, isn't it time to call it something else? A work-life dance. Oh, I love that. Play instead of work. Yes, please. I love that, Lucia. Thank you. Yeah, such a great idea. Thank you so much. I really encourage you personally to just reframe this in your mind, because it comes down to the emotional kind of sensation and the connotation that is related to that label, that the word carries a vibration, and that vibration is what our body responds to. So if we're trying to balance something, if we feel like there is a problem with this work life balance thing and how to achieve it, and we don't have it and everything's broken, it's going to be giving you certain sensations inside your body. Whereas if you reframe it and you make it your own, and you approach it from this positive perspective and start thinking about the things that you love, the values that are important to you, the direction you're going to, instead of trying to fit yourself into what's already there, that's really how you're going to be able to, from the inside, find a reflection of your dream on the outside, in the outside world that you live in. So I guess that's it for me for today, guys. Like I feel that we can definitely get into more practicalities in terms of the different activities that you might want to be doing. Every single person lives in a different environment, so just look around and see what's available to you, and really, like, what is that stuff that you love doing? Why do you even live where you live? Because that might not be serving you anymore. Like, we should all be able to really connect with the space that we're in, and benefit from the environment, because it also feeds our soul. Like I I know, like, you all of you have been to the nature, and so know about the healing powers of it. And for me to be able to be in the garden or look at the sky today, just watch the birds, and the feel the breeze, and just look at the plants, it's something that allows me to appreciate where I am. And when I'm in the work environment, it's people are trying to put plants in their offices and paint walls with green color because they know that that comes from the nature and that has a soothing effect. I'd rather be in the nature, and I want to work and have this view and have this environment. So I really am just encouraging you to rethink this. And there is nothing to kind of aim for or strive for in terms of, grass is always greener on the other side. I want the same thing as this person has. Just go inside and ask yourself, you know yourself. Some of us like running around in nature more. Some of us are more city people, and some people like water more. Some people really love the mountains. So different things work for different people. Some people love really, beautiful views from the top of a hill or high building or whatever. So everyone works differently. So yeah, it really is just an encouragement to find what feeds you. And um, it's really about working with your energy and then finding a way what feels good, actually, what excites you, what is your goal, how can you best feed into your work goals with the life that you're living personally as well, to become whole. That's what we're all looking for, like to become whole instead of suppressing one part of our life so that we can, skyrocket in the other area of our life, and there is this imbalance created. So we're always we're always aiming for wholeness and for this holistic whole picture of who we are. That feels really good because we feel like there are no parts of us that are missing. There is nothing to compensate for. um, and yeah, the scales that's the equilibrium that we're talking about. It really just, it like completely removes that question of like, what is there to balance? You're just intuitively flowing with yourself all day. um, Thank you guys so much for your questions today. That was really interesting. I loved getting online with you as always. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. If you are interested in topics around burnout, productivity, performance, just go on Facebook and find our private group, Burnout Heroes. And yeah, join our space. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. We have some additional lives as well, and some extra gifts for our members. So I bet you would love those. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon on another YouTube Live. Take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic, productive week and stay happy. Bye.